Welcome to Hater Proof, a podcast for self-improvement and good listening parts. You're tuned in. So shake the haters off and be truthful to ourselves. Remember to stay hater proof and stay tuned. If you are a hater, exit immediately. Shake it off vigorously and intentionally, and also wisely. The proof is in the pudding. This podcast, distributing hater-proof audio content via the internet, is dedicated to self-improvement, current news, and the host's personal touch on how, why to get and remain hater-proof. It is not for the haters. You'll find these episode titles are also hater-proof traits, and they will describe you if you aren't a hater. Remember to bloat on them. Here we are again, hater-proof. Still hater-proof. As the saying goes, fail to plan, plan to fail. Meaning prepare for your situation instead of whining about it later. It's imperative you understand your hater-proofness needs to be proactive. It is not a game. Unless you're gaming, then it's a game. This is proactive. Enjoy the episode. Currents in the headlines. Hater Proof is on Apple, Acast, Pocket Cast, and Spotify. Is the podcast host currently. So it's published on Spotify firstly, then you can listen on the other platforms shortly thereafter. Hater Proof is in your friendly neighborhood search engine, and so is Hearth Business. We're getting optimized, people. www.hearthbusiness.com or type Linktree at Hearth Business in your search bar. Do it, sir and or ma'am. Alternative headlines, which there's quite a bit going on in alternative current headlines, but it also includes some sports and Olympics. So here goes. California's largest wildfire grows rapidly. Fires rage across U.S. West. Firefighters scramble to meet the danger as California's largest active fire exploded in size on July 26th, growing rapidly and then threatening thousands of homes. Fire officials began making unwelcome comparisons to the monstrous campfire, which went out of control in nearby Paradise in 2018, killing 85 people and torching 11,000 homes. More than 130 structures have been destroyed and thousands more remain threatened. The lynching of Sonia Massey's ancestor makes her being killed by police a tragic echo. And the following is from an article by Cassandra Lane, an author and editor. According to the family of Sonia Massey, the 36-year-old mother of two shot dead by an Illinois sheriff's deputy July 6th, she was a descendant of William K. Donegan, who had been a shoemaker and conductor on the Underground Railroad before he was lynched by a white mob during the Springfield Race riot in 1908. Massey, they say, died at the same hospital, St. John's, where Donegan died after his white attackers slit his throat and hanged him from a tree outside his home. The ugliest parts of the past keep trying to outpace whatever progress there has been. A body cam footage shows that Grayson, who has been fired and is charged with the first-degree murder, sent her to the kitchen to turn off a pot of boiling water. Maybe it's just a coincidence that incidents such as these keep happening in presidential election years. George Floyd in 2020, Alton Sterling in the Philando Castle in 2016, Trayvon Martin in 2012, and Massey in 2024. Her ancestor Donegan and my great-grandfather, who was the author of this article, Burt Bridges, were lynched in presidential election years too. And this is interesting that these are facts about these deaths. And I just wanted to broadcast them on this podcast. So Microsoft outages caused by CrowdStrike software glitch paralyze airlines, other businesses. And here's what to know. Banks, airlines, television networks, and health systems around the world that rely on Microsoft 365 apps were hit by widespread outages early Friday, July 19, 2024. They were linked to the company CrowdStrike. Thousands of flights and train services were canceled globally, including more than 1,800 in the U.S., and there were disruptions to many other public and retail services. The issue was caused by a technical problem that global cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike said it had identified in its software. CrowdStrike provides antivirus software to Microsoft Word's Windows devices. In a statement, CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz said the issue had been identified and a solution was being implemented. He added that, quote, "This is not a security incident or cyber attack. The issue has been identified, isolated, and a fix has been deployed," close quote. Can Harris win over voters who were skeptical of Biden? Here's some points about this headline. President Biden was struggling to hold on to support from voters who should be Democrats' base, mainly younger voters and voters of color. Can Harris change that? She faces some of the same intractable problems Biden did with skeptical voters. There's evidence she's exciting black-based voters who were kind of meh about Biden. She is one of the most forceful supporters of abortion rights in American politics. Working class suburban and independent voters could be a tougher sell. Biden hadn't made a big enough effort to build a relationship with the tech industry. Harris has a long history of interacting with and working with the tech industry. Historic flood of cash pours into Harris' campaign and allied groups. Coordinated Harris campaign reported Wednesday morning that they had raised more than $126 million from 1.4 million donors between Sunday afternoon when President Biden announced he was stepping aside and that following Tuesday evening. This is technically against the law, and the funds will have to be refunded to the donors or reallocated to the DNC if it wasn't Harris that was taking Biden's place. Biden and Harris already share funds in a campaign committee under campaign finance laws that allow the president and vice president to run together as one ticket. If she were to remain on the ticket as the presidential nominee, she would maintain that access to all of the campaign funds. That would make Harris's transition to the top of the ticket seamless, at least when it comes to the campaign money. Moving on to sports. Anti-Israel protests and threats set tone for politically charged Olympics. The Olympic Games are mired in politics, with frictions over Israel's war in Gaza and Russia's war in Ukraine on full display. French President Emmanuel Macron had promoted a, quote, political truce around the world and within France for the duration of the Olympics, but it is not clear how many countries or individuals are heeding the call. Russian and Belarusian teams have been excluded from these Olympics, though 15 Russian athletes and 16 Belarusians have been permitted to compete as neutrals, as long as they don't endorse the war in Ukraine. The French president added, quote, "Israeli athletes are welcome in our country. They must be able to compete under their colors because that is what the Olympic movement has decided. France's responsibility is to welcome them in complete safety," end quote. Beyond the Israeli team, the Interior Ministry has expressed concern that the Olympics could be a target for activities ranging from drone attacks to cyber warfare. Even though there's a war going on, I guess sports must go on too. Kenny Clark signs 3-year deal with Green Bay Packers. On the eve of camp, Clark received some great news. His 3-year extension with the Packers was to be finalized. The former first-round pick and 3-time Pro Bowler signed a 3-year extension with Green Bay that is worth $64 million. As a reminder, Clark was due $15.5 million in base salary this season, which was the final year on the 4-year extension he signed with the team back in August of 2020. Rappaport also noticed that Clark would receive $29 million in 2024, nearly $15 million more than he would have received by playing out the season. Pachuca versus New York Red Bulls. Pachuca and New York Red Bulls square off in their second Group J fixture in the League's Cup, with both teams looking to bounce back from defeats. The Red Bulls will be keen to make fixtures on their home ground count and should have the upper hand over their Liga MX counterparts, who have been far from their best lately. Both teams are coming off of defeats, and the match between Pachuca and New York Red Bulls was played on July 30th, 2024 with a 1-1 draw. Congrats to the U.S. women's gymnastics team for winning gold, and to the GOAT, Simone Biles, for becoming the most decorated American gymnast in history. That's a tweet from Barack Obama. I thought that I could put that as a headline because, you know, it's Barack Obama, it's Simone Biles, and it's the women's gymnastics team. So it was worth noting that here. Paris Olympics. Italy's Angela Carini abandons fight with Algeria's Iman Khalif, who failed gender test after 46 seconds. Italy's Angela Carini reacts after banning the women's 66-kilogram preliminary round match against Aman Khalif of Team Algeria. And this is coming from a picture where she kneeled down in an emotional state after she opted out. So less than a minute into her bout against an Algerian boxer who was barred from the 2023 World Championships after failing a gender eligibility test, Italy's Angela Carini decided that she was done. She raised her hand to stop the fight after absorbing a flurry of powerful jabs from Algeria's Aman Khalif in the opening seconds of the first round. I mean, look at her name. Anywho, Khalif's thoroughly dominant showing on Thursday will only inflame the debate over whether she and Chinese Taipei's Ling Yuting should be allowed to compete at the Paris Olympics. Last year at the World Boxing Championships in New Delhi, Khalif was disqualified hours before her gold medal bout as a result of International Boxing Association rules that prevent athletes with XY chromosomes from competing in women's events. The IBA disqualified Yuting before her bronze medal bout for the same reason. In these situations of gender neutrality, I wonder, which gender would they compete in? Are they too weak to compete in men's competitions, so then it's okay to fight in women's competitions and be too strong? Or are they just simply identifying as a woman but can clearly compete with men? Where is the determining factor? I'm just saying, though, a fight is a fight, but there are definitely classes to consider, like their weight class and their strength class. That's part of why they have classes. They failed the gender qualification test, so you don't know which way to go with it, because these people want to fight and they want to compete. But I mean, which side would you be on? Esports headline: World Series of Warzone is coming to North America. The live global final will be in the U.S. $1 million WSOW global final will land in Las Vegas at the Orleans Arena for 2 days of intense competition on September 14th and 15th. 2 months of qualifying brought out the best 40 trios in the world to compete for the championship. Tickets will go on sale on Friday, August 2nd at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. You can catch all action live on twitch.tv/Call of Duty, youtube.com/@Call of Duty. I'm happy about that, though. That's awesome, because I've been liking to watch that, and I kind of want to compete. What do you think? I mean, I can go in there and, I'm a pretty good gamer, as long as I have the right equipment, which I don't. Financial headlines: The Fed holds interest rates but keeps door open to a cut in coming months. The central bank emphasized the softening job market, reinforcing expectations that it could lower rates as soon as its next meeting in September. Federal Reserve officials said Wednesday that while there are signs the economy is slowing, the Fed was not ready to cut its key interest rate. At 4.1%, the unemployment rate is at its highest level since February 2018, though still below levels that would suggest a recession. Wall Street traders have signaled for weeks that a September rate cut is a virtual certainty, but the time to cut rates is now. In investing, I'd like to point out before I read these numbers that last episode was for their previous closing day. NVDA current as of 11/19 today was at 112.98, which is down 13.38 from last episode. Microsoft MSFT current as of 11/22 today was at 418.91, which is down 30.61 from last episode. Amazon AMZN current as of 11/26 today was at 184.97, which is down 8.05 from last episode. Apple AAPL current as of 11/29 is at 219.30, which is down 15.52 as the last episode. Tesla TSLA was current as of 11/31 was at 222.00, which is down 34.56. Alphabet GOOGL was current at 11:35 today, was at 170.31, which is down 13.61. Meta META current as of 11:38 today was at 502.36, where they're up 12.57. Meta is the only stock that has increased since the last episode. And I think Amazon was down the least of the stocks that I reported since the last episode. Something to think about. Art and entertainment. Celine Dion returns to stage for dramatic performance at Olympic Games opening ceremony in Paris. She performed on the Eiffel Tower during the opening ceremony of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games on July 26, 2024. She closed the ceremony after the lighting of the cauldron singing In L'amour, Edith Piaf. Yes, I had to look that up. And I listened to it too, and it sounds pretty good. I like it. The live performance marks the superstar entertainer's first concert performance since revealing that she is living with stiff person syndrome, which is a rare progressive syndrome that affects the nervous system, specifically the brain and spinal cord. And I saw a preview of her show that she's coming out with, and I mean, it just looked horrible what she was going through. Review. Missy Elliott takes fans on a cosmic journey during Atlanta stop. For nearly 30 years, Missy Elliott has always, quote, put her thing down, flipped it, and reversed it, close quote. That's why it's hard to fathom that throughout the rap icon's decorative, innovative career, she has never embarked on a headlining tour. Sure, the hip-hop icon has made history as the first female rapper to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and has the first rap song to be transmitted into outer space. But she's never taken all her hits on the road as a headliner until now. For her first headlining tour, she brought Timbaland, Busta Rhymes, and Ciara along for the ride. Rapper denies alleged assault at Dickie's Chris Brown concert. Singer faces second lawsuit. A Dallas rapper who is being sued alongside Chris Brown for allegedly beating up 4 men denies the allegations. The man says he was not involved in the altercation that took place after the singer's concert on July 20th at Dickie's Arena in Fort Worth, according to a statement from the defendant's attorney. The accused, DeAndre Conway, a rapper known by the stage name Yella Beezy, is part of Brown's paid entourage, according to the lawsuit. The suit was filed July 22nd in the Harris County District Court by 4 men, Larry Parker, Joseph Lewis, Charles Bush, and DeMarcus Powell, who all alleged Brown and his entourage assaulted them backstage at Dickie's Arena after a concert on the singer's 11/11 tour. The suit seeks damages in excess of $50 million. Kanye West and Jay-Z's unreleased 2007 collab Buildings leaks online. It's been a strange week for Kanye West music. The rapper announced that his new album Vultures 2 will drop August 2nd. Then a few hours after, he took the date down from his website. A Kanye West song is mysteriously leaked online. It's not from Vultures 2 sessions, but from the graduation sessions back in 2007. The song is titled Buildings. Kanye West has never mentioned the song, and no snippet of it had ever been released prior to July 31st. That said, fans can now listen to the entire 4-minute collab online. Jay-Z kicks off the song with a predictably excellent verse. The most interesting part of his verse is that some lines, particularly those referencing Cuban cigars and doing donuts, were eventually repurposed for the single Otis in 2011. With Smooth, finally made it feel that the song is perfectly suited to name-dropping designer labels. Kanye West wins the song though. The production is clean with crisp piano keys littered throughout, and his verse is filled with clever bars. There's even a reference to 50 Cent, who West was famously beefing with back in 2007. This is an article for a review, so it's not my own personal opinion or review of the song, because I haven't even heard it, and I definitely like to, so I'm gonna try and find it. Nonprofit Representative Tara Simmons fired by a nonprofit she helped found. Tara Simmons, the first formerly incarcerated person elected to the Washington State Legislature, was recently ousted from the criminal justice nonprofit she founded. She is now battling the organization's leadership over the decision. Representative Simmons D. Bremerton, who was seeking a third term in the state house, started Civil Survival in 2015 to provide legal services and advocacy to address barriers for people coming out of prison. Simmons told KUOW she's the victim of a power struggle. Quote, "They've canceled me from my own organization that I birthed and grew." Close quote, she said. Quote, "I do think at the root of it is people who are wanting more power and all the money I've raised." Close quote. Administration. Shrink the economy, save the world. This headline is one that interests me because this underlines the thoughts of where economic growth is taking us. You would think it would be growing, but certain economists are questioning the concept of our economic growth. This article plays with the idea of capitalism and how it can help and not harm, which could deem an imperative in economic growth. Gains in economic growth have too often buoyed the fortunes of the richest instead of lifting all boats. Is economic growth desirable at all? Less than 2 decades ago, an economist like Herman Daly, who argued for a steady state economy, was such an outlier that his fellow economist Benjamin Friedman could declare that practically nobody opposes economic growth per se. Yet today there is a burgeoning post-growth and degrowth movement doing exactly that. In journals, on podcasts, and at conferences, for advocates of degrowth, it's a core tenet that in high-income countries, the constant expansion demanded by capitalism isn't required to improve people's lives. Instead, the ensuing inequality and environmental havoc have frequently undermined them. In what could be a mission statement for the movement, Jason Edward Hickel, an anthropologist who teaches in London and Barcelona, writes, quote, "Degrowth is about reducing the material and energy throughput of the economy to bring it back into balance with the living world, while distributing income and resources more fairly, liberating people from needless work, and investing in the public goods that people need to thrive." Health and wellness. Normal body temperature is personal. Stanford medicine researchers find. As of September 2023, a team of researchers has found that the average body temperature in the U.S. has dropped from 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit by about 0.05 degrees Fahrenheit every decade since the 19th century, likely due to better health and living conditions that reduce inflammation. They found that today's normal body temperature hovers closer to 97.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Adults ages 11 to 65 having a range of 97.6 degrees Fahrenheit to 99.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So in thinking of keeping a normal temperature, I would like mine to remain a steady 97 degrees Fahrenheit or so. But also to note, though, a higher temperature means that your body is trying to fight infection, and that is something to pay attention to. Upcoming holidays. Today, August 1st, 2024, is the first day of August. I hope in retrospect you were hater-proof. It's Emancipation Day in Guyana, National Girlfriend Day. So, today is the day. You gotta celebrate that. It's play ball day. But let's talk about what to celebrate tomorrow, since we can be proactive. Tomorrow, August 2nd, 2024, is International Beard Day, National Coloring Book Day, Virgin of Los Angeles Day, which is celebrated in Costa Rica, meaning the Lady of the Angels. Tisha B'Av Eve is on August 12, 2024, and Tisha B'Av is the following day on August 13th, 2024. And this is the fast day that commemorates the destruction of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. The Assumption of Mary is August 15th, 2024, which is the day when it is thought that the Virgin Mary was assumed into heaven rather than dying a physical death. So make sure you celebrate responsibly and accordingly if the holiday is one that you want to celebrate or have to celebrate. Observing holidays, celebrate holidays, vigilant holidays, happy holidays. Word up. Customer, a person or organization that buys goods or services from a store or business. A person or thing of a specified kind that one has to deal with. Here it is in a sentence. You can be a tough customer, but I aim to please and will make sure to nurture your return. Customer. Conspiracy or nah? So, you want to debunk a conspiracy? Don't start with the truth. You heard me. Let that sink in. One of the most obvious and trendy conspiracy theories as of this recording is that of the Trump assassination attempt. Now, this rally was held out in some farmlands, it looks like, and there was just enough buildings to get a quote-unquote clear shot or 2 or 3 or however many it was. I'm not saying that the government had anything to do with this, but that is the conspiratorial theory here. I mean, his running mate at the time was a sitting president who does seem that he will resort to some pettiness. Take it how you want, but these political bouts can get ugly as what you don't see. I'm glad it was just a graze, although there were no cows. But is it a conspiracy or nah? Facts or opinion? A hater becomes a hater because of their own action or actions. Therefore, a hater is a hater because of their own hate. Is this facts or just my opinion? G and God. What is the main concern of your relationship with God? Does it matter? because God has already figured it out. Don't even sweat it. I mean, those that do wrong things may have a conscience that's eating away at their insides, but that doesn't mean it's not already figured out. Now that's gangster. Solid. Solid to the military. You kind of take advantage or don't realize the protection that is afforded to you under military officials. They take protecting and serving to a whole nother level. I'm not talking about the wrongdoers that are subordinate and can't keep rank, but I'm speaking to the militant, disciplined, methodical killing machines that know how to take down a target. Solid to the military. BBW. Who is being black and winning? Young black voters. They could be the swing voters this election. When comparing high-quality polls from 2008 to 2024, age has emerged as a major factor in black voters' support. I'm not even trying to be political. I'm just saying that the mere fact of young black folks being a determining factor in this election is being black and winning. To note, this day in history, August 1st, 1619, this is possibly the day that the history of blacks in America begins. However, no one knows for sure the exact day that the ship arrived in Jamestown, Virginia, carrying at least 20 Africans who were sold as indentured servants. There is some authority that the ship arrived in late August. All that appears certain is that the month was August and the year was 1619, the beginning of black history in America. This day in history, 1834. Slavery is officially abolished in all British territories. It would take another 31 years and a civil war before it was abolished in America. This day in history, 1920, the National Convention of Marcus Garvey's Universal Negro Improvement Association begins at Liberty Hall in Harlem, New York. The next night, Garvey addresses more than 25,000 blacks at Madison Square Garden. This period represented the height of the Garvey movement and the black nationalism, non-integration with whites, tendency within black America. My 2 cents. This podcast is not intended to harm anyone. It is only in a defensive nature where a hater feels attacked, which kind of leads to my next sense. Maybe your haters shouldn't even hate the game. Maybe they should just stick to hating themselves. Hershey. Got some Hershey's. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I ate one earlier. You know, I have to be careful with these things. They tend to add to my caloric intake. But I like to say that life's a party. Crash it, so to speak. That's a movie quote. One of my favorites. Let me know if you know which one that is. And then make a plan. Be proactive. Go watch it. Because why not? I mean, these things are so good. I dropped one. I'm back. I dropped one on the floor. Still had a little wrapper on it though, so it's all good. But here's number 5. Going down the hatch. And it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit for the day. It's 5 kisses. Five kisses. Have a good day. Or night. Have a good day, good night, good week, good month, good year. Leaving on a high note. It's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Get your checks. Come on. Remember that? Still applies today. That's timeless. So work hard. Party harder. Be proactive this month. Prepare and take action for your future. Have a good August, folks. And I advise to subscribe. Oh yeah, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, TikTok, Pinterest, all of that good stuff. Twitch, Discord. I'm all that. So, my Linktree will link you to some healthy experiences. Linktree at Heart Business. Subscribe, like, comment, and just take advantage of the engaging opportunities. Goodbye. This is the end, my friend. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this show. Be good, be encouraged, and always, always party responsibly. Thanks again. Listen again, and stay hated proof. Till the next episode. To the next episode. To the next episode.